Oh boy, this one's gonna be fun. So, if you've ever heard of the term functional training, you need to run, okay? Let me tell you why. Okay, I have I had notes in the last one, but I have some real notes on this one. Oh, this could be good. Okay, so if you hear it, run. Now, why? So let me explain what functional training is, what the whole idea around it is, okay? So, it's an idea of training that somehow has better use than other forms of training. So, sure, it can be argued that this right here, oh yeah, doing a bicep curl, that's not very functional. Doesn't have very much functional use outside the gym, right? Okay. That's what it is. So, what are the arguments of functional training? Well, that it's functional in daily life, okay? I'll show some examples, okay? I'm gonna have examples right here, okay? Right here over the video, and this is what functional training is, okay? It's really stupid. The next one is that it's really easy to overload and get strong. So in training, there's this whole principle, progressive overload, meaning every time you work out, you're going to either, the next time you work out, you're either going to increase the reps done. So let's say you did overhead press for 10 pounds, right? 10-pound dumbbells. Yeah, you did this. 4 sets of 8, right? Next time you do that, you're either going to get 4 sets of 9 or 4 sets of 10 at 10 pounds, right? Doing this. Okay, that's progressive overload. Or you increase the weight. So instead of 10 pounds, you get 15. That's progressive overload. They say you can overload it really easy. No, you can't. No, you can't. The second one, all right, here's some real sciencey applying kinesiology class to this. All right, they say that it promotes dynamic stability in your body and in your muscles, okay? I'm really going to get into it. And then the fourth argument is that it's all compound movements and that it's full body all at once, right? No. All right. So, here's my reasons why it's stupid, especially as a trainer, because they're trying to push this at the gym that I work at, and it's just so stupid. It's so stupid. All right. So, you saw the exercise. How is that more functional than, let's say, a squat? Or you'll say I talk about the squat or the deadlift too much. Okay, what about the overhead press? I'll show it right here too. Okay, how is it more important or more functional than the squat or the overhead press? Or I'll put it into a pull-up. How? Tell me how. You won't be able to. Here's a pull-up. Now, compound movements, right? And this goes in with, I have 2 and 3, right? This goes in with the third and the fourth argument of the functional training spiel, right? So, they say that you have dynamic stability. What is dynamic stability? Dynamic stability, a dynamic motion or movement is this. Right? It's me doing this. What is that? That is me moving through 1, 2, and 3, all 3 planes of motion. The transverse, frontal, and sagittal plane. Right? That is a dynamic motion. There's dynamic and static stability. So static stability is provided by tendons and ligaments and our bone structure in our body. So we can't affect that, pretty much, almost. You can sort of work on static stability a little bit, but your bones are going to limit you and your tendons. So what's dynamic stability? It's this, right? Remember, we just talked about it. It's this. What produces dynamic stability? Muscles, these things right here, these all around the bones, right? Okay, they produce the dynamic stability. Okay? That's what the functional training gurus say. Or, well, that's what the science says. That's what I learned in class, applying, right? That's what it says. So, dynamic stability by muscles, static stability, ligaments, bones, right? Okay. So, if you can overload that stupid little movement that I showed you, you can't overload it a lot. Why? Because you're not in a secure spot. You're in a freaking lunge on a cable like this. You're on a cable. You can't overload a cable. Your base of support is like this. Are you very stable like this, or are you more stable like this? With your feet under your hips or shoulder width apart? You tell me. Try it. If you have someone try and knock you down when you're in a lunge position or in a push-up position on one arm versus your feet shoulder width apart, standing like this or like this, like in football, you know, the athletic stance like this, tell me which one. Tell me if they're going to push you down in the first one or those other ones, those athletic positions, right? You tell me. So, the stability, wrong. You can overload a squat and a pull-up and an overhead press, right? So, squat, there are people that squat 1,000 pounds. 1,000. Okay? Who does this with 1,000 pounds? Okay? Now, I'm not saying that I can squat 1,000 pounds, but I'm saying that you can overload the muscles way more in a squat or a pull-up. You can get in a pull-up where you're like this or a chin-up, right? You can overload and you can put some weight to your waist, right, on a chain and have like 50 pounds. That's strong, okay? That is a multi-joint movement. So in the squat, legs, quads, 4. Hamstrings, oh yeah, yeah. Glutes, abdominals, back. That's all getting worked. It's full body, right? Full body. Oh, they said it's full body. Okay. So we got the full body part, right? So, got another good question for you. To refute this idiotic training. I'm not even going to call it training. It's not real training. So when in real life, when you tell me when you're like this and you're doing this, not with both arms, because sometimes even then in real life you're not going to be like this. You're going to be like this and moving with your hips, driving with your hips and your legs at the same time. When you're pushing something, like pushing a car, right? Like if you broke down or something, right? You're not going to be doing this. I'm functional. Okay? You're not going to do it. But tell me in life, when this right here serves purpose, right? What if you have to pick something up and place it overhead? Like if you're at work and you have to put something overhead on a shelf, right? All the time. Or if you're trying to reach up in a cabinet and get a coffee mug for your morning coffee, right? All the time. In life, you have to reach something off the floor to pick it up. Look, I just reached my backpack. Okay? So, tell me how those movements, those are functional. Tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me how they're more functional than the compound movements like the squat, the overhead press, and the pull-up that I showed you. Please. Please tell me. You can't. Okay? The last one. Oh, boy. These are going to get the science freaks, right? These are... Get them. So, they say that it's scientific, right? Because all this dynamic stability and full body, and it's cardio at the same time. Woo, right? Well, so I read a study, and if the science freaks come out to haunt me, I'll put the study in another video or something, or I'll make a response. But in a study that I read, it was found that elderly people, right? So older folks, you know how they fall all the time, they break a hip, something like that. The reason why they fall is because of weak quadricep muscles. So these right here, these muscles, they are weak. Does this strengthen the quads? Does it? Or does that idiotic push-up row thing strengthen the quads? No, it doesn't. What strengthens the quads? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, right? You can overload that, right? Tell me how many of your grandparents that are 80 years old can do this? Not many, right? So that's what my job is to get them stronger. That's why I train people, to help them out, to make sure that either people that are that old or people when they get that old, they can do this. Right? They don't have to. Right? Okay. So that's why functional training is stupid. Okay? It's not compound movements. You can't overload them. You cannot overload them like you can a squat or an overhead press. You can't do it. Please prove to me. And it doesn't give you your dynamic stability. Muscle strength gives dynamic stability. Strengthening these gives dynamic stability. Look it up. And I even cited a study. So, again, if you hear functional training, run. Find a new trainer.